Hey guys, and welcome back to Grace of a Military Child and Life podcast. Life from the perspective of a military family member is way different than a civilian standpoint. Military children and family members give up their hopes and dreams to be able to stand by and support their service member, and it isn't an easy lifestyle for anyone to live. I hope that this podcast is able to help connect the military community and give others just a glimpse into what the military life is like from the perspective of spouses and children. Hi everyone, welcome back to the newest episode of Grace of a Military Child and Life. Today I'm here with another Greicy, who is a military spouse, and I'm super excited to have you on today. So welcome. How's it going?
Hello. Well, everything is going well. Thank you for having me here. Thank you for inviting me to your podcast. I'm very glad.
Yay, absolutely. So tell me a little bit. You are kind of a newer military spouse. So tell me a little bit of what that journey has been like for you.
Yes, very new actually. We have been actually living in the first duty station for about 1 month now. So basically we have been in the whole military world for about 8 months, I'll say. So everything has been pretty great actually. We're very happy to be in this new world. And yeah, everything has been very good. We have to move from Nevada. We were living in Las Vegas. And then we have to move to the new duty station, which was our first move. And everything went very smoothly, actually.
That's great. What, like coming into this lifestyle, did you have any sort of nerves? Like, because you can see there's so much that's out there on the military lifestyle. Some of it is good. There's a lot of good that comes with it, but there's so much like negativity and, a lot of people get really nervous about it and scared and anxious. Like, what were your feelings coming into it?
Yeah, we were nervous, especially because we didn't have any background, like military background, no family, no friends whatsoever. Like no one around us was in the military or the armed force, nothing like that. So basically we did the research ourselves. We took the decision ourselves. There was no recruiters. Like we went to the recruiter station or the office, but it was not like someone was knocking on our doors or telling us you have to go or this is the benefits, nothing like that. We actually took the decision by ourselves, like I was saying, and it was nervous and we were having a lot of questions, especially because at the beginning, I even thought myself to enlist myself. But because we were in marriage, we decided that my husband was the one going. And then because I work from home, I'll be the one just supporting him and be able to go wherever I could go with him. So yeah, we had a lot of questions. That was I remember back in the days, and that was the biggest issue. Like we had a lot of questions, like what will it be for our children? We don't have children yet, but we were thinking about that. What will it be for our puppies? We have 2 puppies. What will it be for our families? We don't have families in the States. Well, yet in the state, but not in Nevada where we were living before. So we are very far away from our family. My family is from Portland, Oregon. His family is in Nevada now, his siblings. So basically, there was a lot of questions. Now, one thing that I'm very thankful about is that we could, or personally speaking myself, I could have a lot of support, like in social media. Like I tried to find military wives, military families. I reached back to them, and I tried to ask questions and know more about the life in general.
Yeah, well, that's like the biggest thing that you have to do is the research. You have to ask questions. And the funny thing and the thing I love about military spouses, military kids, military families, like you just are able to reach out and more likely than not, they're so nice, they're so supportive, they're there even though they're, every single person living the military life, whether that be kids, spouses, service members, siblings, whatever that may be, it's such a different lifestyle. Everyone you could be stationed at the same bases, you can have the same MOS, but everyone is going to experience something different. So I just love how supportive other military families are of these military families who are coming in and, encouraging and supporting each other.
Definitely. I think that's a big thing in the military life. Like, I never thought we were going to have that much of support, especially, like I said, we were like new or first generation military family, in our family, of course. So we had a lot of support. Even here now on base, we live on base. And it's great because like we can go to the website or the group, the Facebook group for the military base. So the military families are very nice. Your kids are here. Your kids are gonna be okay. Because sometimes kids are just everywhere here around the base, and that's just very nice. It's like a very kind community from my perspective. I could say a lot of positive things about this decision we took.
Yeah. After not having lived on a base and, not even really been on base to moving to a base, what was the transition like for you?
It has been great. Like, I see no difference at all. I just feel safer actually. Because I have to say the base we're living in, I think is one of the greatest base, um, in my opinion. So I think it is even better this life or where we are living now than where we were living before. Like inside the base, I feel so much safer.
Yeah, it's like you're entering another world. When you go through the gates, you're entering another world. Because literally, like, you've got the PX, you've got the commissary, you've got gas
Yes.
stations, you've got, like, these all little neighborhoods around base. So it's definitely like your own little, like, safe world in there. And while it can still be dangerous, bases do go on lockdown.
Hmm,
I
hmm.
have experienced that before. But it's it feels like a little security blanket, like you're safe, you're with family, in a sense, because your military family does become your family.
Yeah, and everything is very nearby. Like you can go to the gym, walk in,
Yeah.
and there are a lot of like businesses around where I live. There's like a Domino's Pizza. There is like sushi place, and everything is like very very nearby. Yes.
Yeah, it's so nice, living on base and then, having the families who are your neighbors, to be able to connect with as well. Like you said, you're so new to this lifestyle and you've had no, first generation military family. So there's no prior experience. So it's definitely nice to have those families like right next door to be able to say, you know, I don't know what I'm doing, like, somebody help me, somebody guide me through this because I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, sure. And they're very nice around here, and supportive. And social media has been big again
Yeah.
because yeah, like everybody is willing to give you an advice. There are a lot of military spouses are out there that have like the content to help
Yeah.
other meals so yes, and it's very nice.
Yeah, so many people just see, a gap in something, in this world, and they're like, "We're gonna fill this gap, we're gonna help," support these other military families that may need this. There's a lot of you said you don't have kids, but when kids come around, there's lots of children's books out there to help um kids understand what they're going through in the military life, why their dad is leaving, um why they're having to move all around,
So
and
much.
technically
Yes.
the world, because you could get stationed in Germany, you could be stationed in Japan.
Hmm.
You never know where you could get stationed. So there's lots of books out there that these military spouses and military, most of them are military kids turn military spouses, say, "Hey, I've lived this life. I know the struggles," or military spouses to our moms and say, "Hey, like, we know this is a struggle. We saw it in our kids, and our kids need these resources and they're not out there. So let's create these resources and provide them to our kids and to all the other kids out there."
Yeah, definitely a big, big help.
Yes. What kind of are your dreams as being a military spouse, a new military spouse? What are your dreams kind of going forward? Do you have goals? You said you work from home, so that makes a big difference. So what do you
Yes.
want to do in this life?
Well, I am new in this world, like I said. So since I have that benefit, I'll say, because working from home is a good thing. It's very
Yeah.
beneficial because you can do a lot of things. Um, so I have my TikTok and I share a lot of things about my life. And now I'm thinking to include more of the content from when we were moving, from when we were taking the decision to enter to the military life. It's just to kind to, because like I said again, big social media has been a big support for me because like I had no one, so I want to be that person to someone. We have different backgrounds. I wasn't born in this country. Like you might hear my accent. English is my second language, so there are a lot of people with the same situations, like want to serve to the military, but they were not born here. They don't know the language sometimes. So I just want to be there for that community, because maybe when you are born here, you have another kind of community. But then when you are not, but you are in the military, you have another kind of community. So I want to be, that's something I want to work on it. I want to create content to be that person that I had in some way when I was just starting in this new life. Like again, I'm very new, learning a lot of new things, but I want to share that too. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's so special that you're kind of in a sense hitting the ground running, because there's so many, you're seeing the need for other military spouses who share similar journeys and situations like you guys, where you're new, but you weren't necessarily born, into a military family in this country, and you're seeing that need of helping other military spouses navigate this journey, but having so many questions along the way and saying, "Hey, no, like, I was in the same position. I had these same questions. I had more questions," or I had a bit of different questions, but I know the answers, or I know how to get you the answers. And that's where it all starts. Like, that is where this military community, this military family, starts, and it just keeps building on from there. And if you go on for, if you're a military lifer, if you do this for a career and go on for the 20 years, like it will grow to be a huge platform and a huge source for other military families to help them to gain the experience and, you know, not feel alone throughout this whole journey, because it can feel lonely.
Yeah, definitely. It can feel it, you can feel lonely, alone. Um, Again, especially when you're starting. So yeah, I want to do that. I want to work on trying to help other military wives, like new military wives, young military wives.
Yeah, it's definitely, it feels lonely coming into it, especially if you don't have that background because you're like, I don't even know where to start. I don't know what I'm doing.
I had to, yeah, I'm sorry. I had
No,
to even
go.
like buy book. I had to buy books.
Yeah.
Because, I also wanted to keep kind of like a tradition, even if I didn't have the background, because I know there's certain or specific traditions in the military life, as a military family, like for kids, for wives. I think they have kind of like a ball, like Super Bowl, something like that.
Yeah, the
Kind of like
Army-Navy
a big,
game.
yeah, like a big party, so like events and those kind of
Yes.
things. So I wanted to learn more about this because if I get an invitation to one of those places, what am I gonna do? So I was just like researching a lot, reading books, and yeah, going social media again.
Yeah, it's important to learn, and a lot of spouses will just come into it and say, "Hey, like, I don't know what I'm doing, like, tell me what to do." But it's important because you're not necessarily always gonna have somebody that's is able to sit down with you and tell you what to do every single step of the way. You kinda have to go out there, find your own resources, find your own, like you said, books. There's so many books out there for military
Yes,
families and for military spouses, especially, that you can just grab and you can read. And there's so many that you can take along each step of the way. These seasoned military spouses and military families who have been in the life for 15 plus years, going on 20, coming out and retiring. There's so much knowledge there that they have, and they just want to share.
definitely. Sharing is great.
Yeah,
Sharing is caring.
it is.
Sharing is caring.
Yes,
Yes,
and
yes, it is very
especially,
nice.
yeah, these new military families like yourself coming in, you need the knowledge, and there's so much tradition in the military. The military is built off of tradition, like, let's put it that way. It's
Hmm.
literally built off of tradition. So, like you were saying, the Army-Navy game, that is, like, our Super Bowl, that is in December, and if you are Army, it's go Army, beat Navy, and if you're Navy, then
Yes.
it's the opposite way, but we are Army, so that's how we go.
Yeah, we
Um
are.
Yes. So, the Army Navy game, there's so much out there, and each base, it's interesting, has its own traditions. Like family days are huge. Picnics and things like that. It's so special to take part in those events, and it's so important to take part in those events because that's when you build your connections. That's when you make connections and you learn more about the unit your husband's in and being able to make those connections within other military spouses and military families in that unit.
Yeah, you keep the tradition, because just imagine if every military wife or military family go out there and say, "I'm not gonna go to this picnic. I'm not gonna go to this event." So the tradition is not it's gonna die basically. So that's nice when you have that willingness to go for the event, to learn about the new life, and I, I just have again so many positive things to say. I know you at the beginning said that like everything in life, not everything is positive.
Mhm.
Um, but from my viewpoint, at this point, 7, 8 months after of being in the military, I can say have been I have had a lot of support, and everything has been very positive, very smooth, even better than I thought it was going to be. I maybe thought I was going to be even alone, like more lonely. I thought that maybe I wasn't gonna have someone to talk about or to know, or I don't know. It was a very uncertain time, but thankfully I can say a lot of positive things.
Yeah, and along the way, you'll find bumps in the road, deployments are hard, PCSs are hard. And even though, you'll come across these hard points, it's so important to have that positive outlook on it and say, hey, like, this is positive. Like, there are positives in every situation. And
Yeah.
it's important to have that viewpoint on it because if you don't, that's when the military life, a lot of people say it's hard and when it sucks because you're just looking at all of these negatives. You're seeing all of the bad that's happening, but you
Yes.
have to find the positives.
Definitely, definitely. I remember, so before he enlisted to that army, to the armed force, we had been together for about 4 years and we have never been apart, like not even for a weekend, never been apart. So even though we knew it was going to break us in a way because the distance, we took that as a challenge. We took that risk because we knew after 6 months our life were going to change like completely. Like I cannot tell you I'm the same. It's crazy how things and how much you learn and how much you grow, or how much I have grown in those like past 6 months. So he was in basic training. He learned, he changed a lot, not just physically, but mentally. But I did it myself too, because I was not there in a military training, but I was at home alone. I was, I was just running a whole life, like a whole home basically by myself. So, groceries, just things that I used to do with him. Now I had to do it by myself. Just taking like small decision, like it might sound funny or even like fool, but even like the small decision of what is the storage I'm going to rent for all this, that was a decision I didn't know. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, there's so many. They're one closer, they're one far away, but it's cheaper. I was
Yeah.
just thinking about that. And I got myself just looking to the side, just thinking he was there by my side and he was going to assure me, like, yeah, go for this one or go for that one. But I didn't have him by my side. So I have to grow myself and to say, okay, so this is my responsibility now and I have to do it myself. So it was also a challenge for me. And now I think I can do just like whatever. Like if you can go wherever you can go, that I know I'm gonna be fine. I know I'm gonna be
Yeah.
fine.
You
Yes,
grow
yes.
so much as an individual, separately, you both grow, like you said, so much
Mm-hmm.
physically, mentally, everything. And then you grow so much closer together as a couple because you go through these challenges and, not always you're there together going through them, but you're, actually physically together, but you are there together because you are living the same life together and you're, going through everything that is crazy and this lifestyle is insane, but you're growing together and it's such a weird thing and unless you've actually experienced it yourself, it's hard to explain to someone else.
It is hard to explain to someone else because, like I said, I'm not the same that I was 6 months ago before he was going to basic training.
Yeah.
And he's not like 100%. He's not the same,
Yeah.
and it has been a very positive experience, very positive challenge. Yeah, it is not easy. I'm not gonna be there and oh, you're all positive. There are not things. They're not. Nothing is hard for
Right.
you. No, it was hard. I got myself crying like many nights because I was not with him because I had to move. It was like a 3-bedroom house by myself. Like
Yeah.
I had like my his siblings help, but it's not the same because I was the one supervising everything. I don't
Right.
know. I felt so much pressure on my shoulder because everything was on me. Um, but I just when I was feeling very down, I was just thinking to myself, this is going to be it soon. This is gonna be it. I'll be maybe like three weeks. I just need 3 more weeks to see him again. I just need 2 more weeks to see him again. Everything is gonna be over. Everything is gonna be better. Everything is because of our children. Because basically, we did all this for our children. To build a future for them. Because well, you are a child yourself,
Yeah.
like a military child, so you might know about the benefits. It's not the same when you from my viewpoint, it's not the same. So we were thinking about our children, and I that was just something that motivated me to keep going. And believe me, if I have to do those 6 months again, I'm gonna do it again with no problem. With no
Yeah.
problem. I think I'm gonna do it even better because now I have the experience. But it's not something we regret at all, and it's something that we would do it again. Like how many times we have to do it, we are going to do it. So it's just very positive.
Yeah, like I said earlier, you have to have that positive outlook on it, and those countdowns are the best,
Yes.
Say, it's only this many days, it's only this many weeks, it's only this many, you'll get to a point where it's months, and so you just have those small little countdowns that, even if being one day closer, that's all the motivation you need, moving forward, and just saying, like you said too, if I have to do this again, I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to do it 10 times better because I have the experience now. I have, you'll have resources, 10 years down the road that you didn't have when you first started, and it's going to help you. And you'll be able to provide other resources to other military families saying, hey, no, like this is
You're gonna
what
be okay.
helps. Yeah, you're going
Yes.
to be okay, because that's a lot of the times what other military families need to hear, whether that be a child or a spouse. Like, you're going to be okay. Like, we're going to get through this. If I have to hold your hand every step of the way, I will, because we're going to get through this.
Yeah, definitely. You're gonna be okay. And yeah, your mind opens up so much that you are able to say, like I said, I'll do this again. I would do this again if I have to. And yeah, that's what I want to be. I want to be someone like is there. Please, if you are listening to me, I know you are, all the military wives out there, all the new military wife, young, if you can reach me, any questions, I'll always be answering your questions, because I really want to be that. I want to feel that warm I felt. And honestly, like you said, sometimes I just needed someone that had the same situation that tells me you are going to be okay. Like, you got this. And yeah, it is so nice, because you really are. You're going to be okay. Like, it's not a big deal. And you're going to learn so many things.
Yeah, absolutely. The last thing I always like to ask is, what piece of advice would you give to another military family, another military spouse, somebody in your shoes?
Ask questions. Ask questions. Always ask questions, because you are going to be feeling a lot better when you ask questions, because you will find your answer and you will feel relief. And another advice is that always look for the positive, because maybe you're gonna go to an office and someone is not gonna be in a good mood, but don't let that to get you down, to make you feel bad, or to tell you, I don't think this is for me. Better let's go home, because they don't want to give us information, or they don't have the best attitude. So basically, just don't let that bad vibe, get to your mind, and don't let you keep your goal. If your goal is to be in the military, if your goal is to support your husband, do it. Get the good things and the positive things from everybody, but don't listen to the negative things. It's just that. I think that if I would have focused more on the negative, I wouldn't be here. Because, everybody tells you a lot of negative things. And that's okay, because everybody can tell you whatever they are willing to tell you. You cannot say to someone, you can only talk positive to me. No, but you can choose. You can choose, actually. You can choose what you want that gets to you, So, okay, she's doing negative, but I actually want to get this from her or from him. I want to get this because I have a goal, and the positive vibes is what is going to get me to that goal.
Yeah, because if you, harp on those negative things, then that's where you're going to go. You're going to be negative about it. And, while you'll come across negative things, and sometimes you'll be viewed as that negative person because you're like, oh my gosh, this is so crazy. This is stressing me out, But as long as you look at the positives in it, as long as you take, listen to the negatives, but take it with a grain of salt, because you'll be learning the experience from somebody's negative experience. You'll be learning something from it. But really strive on those positive things, learn from those positive things, find the positive things in your life, because honestly, that'll change your outlook on it.
Yeah, sure.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Well, where can people connect with you? On Instagram? You said you have TikTok too.
Yeah, sure. I have my Instagram. I have my TikTok. You can find me as Gray Gonzalez, just gray like the color, but with E as an elephant. Yeah, because my name is Greicy. It's just the Spanish version of your name, Grace. Yeah, I love your name. Yeah, I think I'm gonna name my daughter after your name.
Oh, yeah. That's so sweet.
It's just because I think it's the English version of my name, and just is so sweet. So yeah, you can find me as a Gray Gonzalez 97 in Instagram and in TikTok. So it's just the same. I have been sharing a lot of our journey, not as the military wife yet. I'm gonna get to that point soon. Like I said, we just moved, so I have been organizing the studio and the camera and the lights and all that. But I do have some videos from, some places we have gone, we have visited in Vegas because we were living in Vegas. So basically just like daily vlogs. So you can go there and check it out. Thank you so much to you, Grace, also because you are giving me this opportunity to speak and also to tell them how to find me.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being on.
Of course. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Grace of a Military Child and Life. Make sure to set a reminder for every Tuesday to listen to a new episode. You can find us on Instagram and YouTube at Grace of a Military Child and Life. If you have any questions or want to be on the podcast, send a message to one of our social media platforms or email grace.of.a.military.child@gmail.com. See you next week.